Is he excited to be married? Well, you're already married, but be double married? Huh?
I'm ready for this to be fucking over with.
Got it. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah. No one seems to be getting their shit together in time. I'm just like, okay, you all don't care, then I don't care anymore. So
I mean, your dress code gave me an excuse to buy a new pair of Converse, so I'll take that.
I do love that. Because I didn't want people showing up in sneakers, but Converse, like, come on.
They're a little classier, a little
They
different.
are. I like Converse. I'm like, that is the one exception I'm willing to make.
Yeah, I saw that and I was like, oh, good evening or morning or whatever time of the day it happens to be. Welcome one, welcome all to the Writer's Bleck podcast, a podcast all about writer's block, mental health, and dealing with just the general jackassery of the modern world. I am one of your hosts, Greg Nykus, joined alongside Taylor Noel Thomas, the fidget spinner queen of South Bend.
The only reason, because I lose mine all the time, which ha ha ha, ADHD, of course we're gonna lose everything. But I just got this like from an event at work, so I was like, okay, now I finally have one again. Let's try to keep this.
Yeah, give it a week.
Yep, it'll be gone.
But this is a podcast, though, we talk all about all things writing and writing adjacent. Taylor is a grad student of the literary arts at Notre Dame. I can see that your face is a ringing endorsement of that. Yep. And I am a fraud.
Lies.
I've been doing a lot better this time around, but we'll get into that shortly. I guess the first things first is, Taylor, how are you? How has the you been?
I'm good. I've made no progress on my thesis at all. But we have classes and teaching starts next week, and like I'm just waiting for that moment when I get the email from my advisor and she's like, "Oh, can you send me some pages?" And I'm gonna be like, "Yeah, I can send you some pages. None of them are edited."
Time to just make some shit up.
Yep, life is good. Yeah,
good. Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, you got school coming up. You got a wedding coming up. You got you're a busy cookie.
Yeah, I hate it. How about you?
I have a boss at work now, so after 7 months of running the show by myself, I don't have to do that anymore, and it's delightful. And of course, the first thing I did was take on a colossal project, and I only had 2 weeks to get it done in, and I did it. And boy, am I tired.
Why do we hate ourselves?
The leading theory here is shitty parenting, but the jury's still out in general. I've transitioned to kind of what I've been working on writing-wise, because I felt like I just needed to do something that wasn't my comic for a while.
Yeah.
And so I'm back to writing sketch comedy. And it is a lot harder than I remember it being. I started... Yeah, I got a bright and shiny new notebook. I opened it up. I wrote the first sketch I had. Really liked what I wrote. It's called Blood Drive. I hope I can make it soon. Chris Hansen is involved. It's going to be great. But then the second one is about stealing drinks from Panera.
Yes.
And I feel like I wrote the bare bones, but it's super unfunny. And the next two I wrote were a similar thing where I'm like, I think I wrote like more of like an order to go in. And they're first drafts anyway, but it's like, these are not funny. It's like stealing from Panera. I wrote one about losing your phone, having to like find my phone. And then about Taylor Swift suing people. And I'm like, I have the bare bones. It's like a treatment of the actual scripts, but I don't have nothing funny in them. So that's what second drafts are for, but it's a lot harder than I remember it being.
It is like I like to think of myself as a funny person, but I'm an in the moment funny person. I'm never like, I can't just produce something and it be crazy funny, and I hate that. Yeah.
And it's like Grim's been watching The Good Place a lot lately.
Ooh.
I love The Good Place. It's a good show. But what was I saying? Shit. But I look at like shows like The Good Place, and that show has so much improv in it, and I'm like, how? This is not fair. How is Janet the funniest character just ever written and not written? Like, this is just the actresses like, boop.
I have gotten so many people this summer who've told me that they wish I would do like either theater or stand-up, because they're like, your facial expressions, you're always very like funny in that moment. I'm like, I know that I need to be funny. Like in my writing though, it's great that it's in your face right now, but that does not help my writing career.
And even then, stand-up takes a fair amount of writing.
Yes, it does.
What is it? Girl went to high school with Gemma. She was doing stand-up in like 2018, 2019.
I love Gemma.
Gemma's great.
Yes.
But then she like was trying to convince me for like 6 months to do stand-up with her. and finally got me to the point that I was gonna do it. I wrote a 5 minutes. I was gonna do it. I was rehearsing it, and then do you want to guess what happened?
What?
The pandemic happened. It was February of 2020. I was going to do it, and then the world shut down. And I have wanted to do it ever since, but it is just like I can't. Like the comedy club that I was going to go to is now like a much bigger deal. It's in a hotel. It's fancy now.
Oh.
They still open mics and all this stuff, but I'm like, it's intimidating. And there's a couple places in town that do stand up, and I have a whole like 5 minutes about making people uncomfortable. Yeah, it's just actually getting around to do it is terrifying, and also it's like I put so much thought into this my act that I'm like I think I overthought this way too much. So
you need to take a shot or two and just go do it one day. Like just go and do it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It'll be a random ADHD. I think this would be a cool thing to do today. It's like last week I was like, I'm going to go play baseball by myself.
Yep.
And this will be like, I'm going to go do stand-up comedy by myself.
Usually the things I'm most terrified to do only ever get done because something even more terrifying comes up. And I'm like, oh, okay, I can avoid doing this by doing the other scary thing. So yeah, what a great system I have going on.
Yeah. Well, you gotta love it. You gotta love it. I know you said you have not gotten much done in your thesis, but we'll dive into our homework here real quick. Did you write a poem?
I did actually. It's funny. Again, my thesis is in nonfiction, and I cannot seem to get a single word out. Probably
it's hard.
Burnt out.
But
help. Poetry just keeps coming out of me, and I'm like, God damn it, because this doesn't help me get my thesis done. And I don't want to put my poetry in my thesis because it doesn't fit at all.
Unless you do like a poetry excerpt in between bits. So like the bit about you have a poem about your mom, you do the bit about your mom, you have a bit about your sister bit. I don't know. Don't mind me. Sorry.
Most of my poetry tends to be about sexuality, and that is nothing about what my thesis is. So I'm like, God damn it.
Got it.
So
okay.
We will see what eventually happens. I think once my advisor gets a hold of me, the panic will really set in, and then I'll force myself to write a lot of bull crap. We will see. A lot of coffee. Yep. Did I ever tell you about my last day, like the night before my last day of college? No. So sorry, you just reminded me of this. So I had a bit of an issue. I went to Ivy Tech. I did not have a good experience there. I was kind of lied into the program I was in. And then when I expressed concerns with this class that I was taking my second semester, I was told to essentially suck it up. Oh. So me, being the very logical and even-headed 20-year-old that I was, just stopped going to classes for a while because I was pissed. And then it was the day everything was due. And I had talked to multiple professors, and they were like, we will accept your work if you turn it in. And so it was the night before my finals. I went through an entire like bag and a half of Michigan cherry coffee. Oh. And I was like tippy tapping away at my laptop and trying to get all this stuff written in red and trying to get all that done. And then I remember I watched the sunrise laying in the park crying because I was having a nervous breakdown. Yes. My first of many. But that's usually how I find myself when it comes to like assignments I've been avoiding. The last possible minute, I'm like sobbing into a laptop. I'm like, I just have to finish it. Yep. Almost there. Just keep going. You got this. And that's like the Pokemon bit about Oak's words echo through your head, except it's my dad's words saying get your head out of your ass. Yes. Great words to go out on, Dad. Really appreciate those being some of your dying words. Love that for us. My mother is alive, but that's almost always whenever I hear negative things, it's usually in the tone of my mother's voice. So that's healthy for us. Yeah, totally. We don't need massive amounts of therapy. We have a podcast for that. Exactly. As far as my homework goes, I will let you decide if I succeeded or failed. So my homework from last episode was I was going to write a short story for the Doctor Who Big Finish Short Trips contest. Yes. I wrote it. I didn't submit it, but I wrote it. I think I had a really good concept, and it's one of those times I knew the beginning, I knew the end, and I knew some of the middle-y bits that were going to be like super cool. And it was like kind of high concept sci-fi type bullshit. And then I finished it, and I'm like, I kind of hate how this turned out. Yes. I went way too abstract, and I'm like, maybe I should have just like gone by the books for like a first attempt and
But no, I was like, okay, we're gonna do this. We're gonna have him. The Doctor's trapped in a pocket universe, but it's like the Big Bang, and the universe is gaining sentience, and he has to teach the universe how to be a good universe, but he's kind of killing the universe by being there. This is a lot for a first at bat with this, and but I wrote it.
I honestly think that you completed the assignment because just finishing something, to me, that's enough.
Cool, good. I appreciate that. Just voila. Thank you for your patronage.
I feel like when you have ADHD, like the bare minimum sometimes is like, we did it.
Yeah, it felt good to finish, and then I went back to reread it, and I'm like, I am not entering this. Like maybe next year I'll go over it like a 9 or 10 times, and I'll have something like passable. But for right now, I'm like,
at least we finished. We're getting there.
Finished. That's all that matters.
I did find out something very cool that has to do with the writing/reading world.
Okay, tell me more.
I saw a New York Times, like their posts on Instagram. There's a new romance bookshop in Brooklyn called, I think, The Ripped Bodice, and it's exclusively for romance books. This is their second shop. The first one is in California. Now they have one in New York, and they're hoping to expand. But beyond that, I mean, that's just cool. Having a whole bookstore dedicated to romance is my dream come true. But the second thing I learned is that, like, romance sales in general and romance interest went up 52% last year, and I am on top of the world. It's just very nice to see that. I mean, of every like genre, romance like toppled everything, and it was just like really cool to learn about.
That is really interesting, because I imagine romance, I don't read romance really, but I imagine it's one of those things that it's hard to find good romance stories. So if there's a corner being turned on that where it's not smut for smut's sake, it's not, we're not looking at 50 Shades of Grey and going, this is romance, right?
Ooh, okay.
Oh no, here we go.
I hate 50 Shades, but for me, it's not more of, I thought the writing itself was not good. Again, you're right. Sometimes it can be hard to find romance writers that I like, but my criteria for a good romance is vastly different from the next person's. Everyone's looking for something different.
Subjective.
Me, I need great writing, believable characters whose like arc isn't just, I found love. Especially the women characters, because if I get women characters who are just like, once I find a man, everything will be great, then I immediately put it down. And there has to be some kind of feminist aspects throughout the book, because again, if I'm reading a book that is based in gender stereotypes and all
a man won't solve all your problems.
I cannot, I can't finish it because I'm just so bored out of my mind. But my other thing is, I actually enjoy smut. I love dirty, nasty books, but it can't just be dirty and nasty and that's it. Again, there has to be some plot to it as well. Like, here's plot, here's a really dirty, nasty scene. Here's plot, here's a dirty, nasty scene.
Taylor watches porn for the plot. How does she get in the washing machine?
Listen, no, that is actually something I've talked about with like my friends and my husband. Like, a good plot, if there's not a good plot in the porn or even quality acting in the porn, I'm probably not going to continue watching. Like, what? I need to believe that he's there to deliver you a pizza.
Yeah.
I need to believe that you are step siblings who magically landed into each other's beds.
Oh boy. This is fantastic. And I feel like with the smut as well, but also romance, it's like, I feel like it also helps when the writer I'm gonna go back to smut. So Game of Thrones, I stopped listening to the Game of Thrones books because I feel like George R.R. Martin has only like ever read about sex or anything adjacent. So the way that he writes any of those scenes in those books, it's gross.
Yes.
Like, it's not sexy. It's just, you're using words like buzzwords that you've heard and trying to apply it. And I'm like, this isn't how human. Oh, okay.
No, you just hit upon a really good point, because I tend to read romance written by women. Because I've read romance books by usually it's cisgender, like heterosexual men, and they are some of the worst, not just the romance aspect, but the intimacy aspect, the sex, all of it. Terrible. And usually it's where I see some of the worst like gender stereotypes ever. And of course, usually when I read those books, it's usually like, he touched me one time with his finger and I came, and raptures. And it's like, come on, get out of here. So a lot of the like books by queer or like women in general, like usually the sex scenes in general and the intimacy scenes are described so well. Some of them are awkward, like you just met someone on the street, you hook up, and usually the first time with someone is awkward as hell and weird, and usually it's like, yes, make these real, like this is what a real sex experience is like. I love that.
Well, and I feel like that's also like a systemic issue as a whole too, where it's like you read about a sex, like one whole sex, and then like you get into a real life situation, you're like, this is gonna be exactly like this one thing about the sex I read, and then it's a disaster because you're putting all those expectations on something that's not real because you read it or you watched it or whatever.
Yes,
and it's
like
the same with writing, but it's like it's as systemically it's an issue. Like you're right, like you don't just touch someone and then it's like, oh, it's over. Oh my god, I'm biting your hands. Oh.
So much of porn and like some of the books I read warped me in different ways. Like porn taught me women only get pleasure by making the man happy, and a lot of it was from the male gaze, and I was like, okay, so the key to me enjoying sex someday when I have sex is going to be making men as happy as possible and like putting my needs and concerns aside. But then the romance books I read, because like I'd say like earlier generations of books, not always the greatest examples too, because I got my hopes up about what intimacy and things like that would look like, and I was seeing more of what I saw in porn in my relationships than anything else. And that was devastating.
Yeah, that's I feel like it's not you say that. I feel like guys should read more romance books, if for no other reason than to find the happy median between the smut I'm watching and the smut that we're reading, and then just meet in the middle and go, this is probably close to what it's going to be actually, life is actually going to be like.
Yes, I actually just read a really hilarious book. It's like currently trending, I think, on TikTok, and it's on the like New York Times bestseller list for romance right now. It's called Business or Pleasure. In it, the main character starts kind of like a friends with benefits thing, because her and this guy, they hooked up one time, and it was the worst hookup. Just like the description of their hookup, I had to put the book down several times because I was like, this is horrible for her. Oh my god, because it's just so bad. She thinks, okay, I'll never see him again. Thank God, because I was just the worst hookup in my life. He did everything wrong. But then they end up having to work together, and like finally she's honest, like, because he's like, wow, that time we had sex was absolutely amazing, right? And she's like, no, it was actually horrible. That's why I left in the middle of the night, because I didn't want to see you in the morning. And like, so then she starts giving him lessons on how to please women in bed. And I just felt like it's a really helpful book just in general. Like if your only reference is porn on pleasing women, maybe take some time to read that book and figure out, most women just want you to listen and be willing to receive feedback on what you're doing in the bedroom.
And maybe talk things through first.
Yes.
Like just talk.
Communication is
spontaneity. Spontaneity is nice, but maybe like beforehand have a conversation like, these are my no's, these are my red flags, this is what I don't like.
For me, I don't like much spontaneity. I am like a total,
you need a syllabus.
I do. I really do. I'm going to communicate. And if you're not willing to communicate, we're probably not going to ever have sex, because you'd be in a relationship, because that's annoying. And people need to communicate more. And I don't think it happens, because again, in movies and stuff like that, even rom-coms and stuff, like suddenly they just fall into each other's arms and everything is perfect. And it's like, that's not what real life is going to be like. No. Same with writing too. Ooh.
Yeah. It all goes full circle, Taylor. It all comes back around.
It does.
I think that we could just make smut the main topic, but I actually had a topic in mind. So you went to Italy.
I did.
You went to Italy for writing.
It was for an international writing conference, but it wasn't just writing, it's artists in general. So there was musicians, photographers, there was a bunch of stuff. And like we all come together, we take workshops with each other. Like usually you're paired up with a professional in your specific field, but you're open to take some of the other classes with other people as well. So like I took some of the photography workshops and learned a lot of cool things about making your pictures on Instagram look better, which I know it's like, oh, like I was expecting someone to like make fun of like, oh, you're just here to learn how to take better pictures on Instagram. But he was like, no, that's how things are now. He's like, so why not? And it was really cool.
Have you seen any filters that are on Instagram?
That's what I'm saying. It was so cool. There was a whole lot. There was even a guy who came, this year was new, and came and gave art lectures on like certain time periods in Italy and like artists at those times and stuff like that. We got a lecture on Dante and his Inferno. It was just really, really, really amazing. It was like the best 10 days. Like the amazing food, learning so much. I finally figured out what the main theme of my thesis is. Have I written anything? No, but now we finally have like what all my writing was leading up to.
The pieces are coming together.
I'm writing all this crap and I'm like, here, I have this pile of papers. I don't know what any of this like is adding up to. And then finally having my eyes open, like, you don't see it? It's right there. And I'm like, so that was cool.
The map was on the back of the Declaration of Independence the whole time.
Exactly. It was, and we met some of the nicest, it was like all ages. They were some of the kindest and richest people I've ever met in my life.
Fair enough.
Some of them, like, because some of them were much significantly older than us, like 50s or 60s, and they were like CEOs of huge corporations and companies, and like they're like, oh yeah, this is like my 12th time to Italy. And you'd think like they would have been snobby and horrible, but they were the kindest, most amazing people, and a good chunk of them, of those wealthy people, paid for my scholarship to go there. So you should apply.
I should apply to Notre Dame?
Yes, for next year's Italy conference. You don't have to go to Notre Dame for it.
Okay. Well, it'd be nice. I think I need to like write something and like publish it first, but or like, I don't know, get back to actually making like shooting sketch comedy and scripted stuff. But
oof, ain't that the truth? Yeah, I should actually write something as well.
Yeah, well, I mean, you at least have submitted. You've submitted things. You're published. You know, you got this and that and the other thing. I got notebooks upon notebooks of unfinished stuff, and it drives Grim insane because our house is just full of partially used notebooks, and I'm like, I need that notebook.
Yep, I might use it again.
I might. You know, those are my doodles. I need those for my cartoon.
So wait, you're more of like a handwritten person and not like typing it up?
I do both. I like to handwrite first. I don't know. There's just something about that probably because when I was younger and writing, like when we were in school, it was always handwritten in notebooks, so I could get away from actually doing schoolwork. But even now, it's like there is something therapeutic about that. Like I go to the coffee house. I think Tuesdays and Thursdays, the days I try to go do that, and I'll try to sit for an hour and just write and hammer out a sketch or two.
I only seem to type. Like that's it.
Yeah, I type up final drafts partially because then it's a good way to kind of revise things, but also that way people can read my handwriting if it's like a sketch and I need actors to act in it. So yeah, a little column A, a little column B. I know for work it's all computer stuff, but I do a lot of prep handwritten as well. So
see, I want to get more into handwriting my work. It's just for some reason like handwriting feels more vulnerable. Like I'm actually like terrified to write it all down. I'm like, if I type it up, there's kind of like a distance between me and the writing.
Yeah, and I think with the handwritten vulnerability, it feels like it's more vulnerable because if anyone was going to see it, at least because it's an early draft, it's an early version of the way your mind works. For me, it's like there's a lot of like I'm just like scratching things out that I don't like because I write with pen. And then also when I'm writing like a book or something like that, or I'm working on a short story, a lot of the time I will draw it out as like a comic. That way I can like draw the panel. I can see this is the way the action's supposed to look, and I can write that down. As opposed, like, and that helps me a lot with that's a large part of the problem with the book I've been trying to write for 3 years is I'm having a lot of trouble visualizing it, but also I'm a terrible artist.
Yep.
And there are some like a chunk of it is like it's a war, it's a space war, and I can't draw the suits of armor or any of that stuff in a way that I like because I suck at drawing. It's really like, but the other stuff is so cartoony. I'm like, it's normal. This is fine.
Yeah.
It's a lot of just weirdness. All right. I think we will take a quick break because our timer's coming to a conclusion, but I want to hear more about Italy when we come back.
Okay.
And as this is the Smut episode, anything can happen, I guess. I don't know. All right. We will be right back. How was break?
It was good. I'm working on making the like numbers for each table at the wedding. We were originally going to do like a collage of baby pictures of me and Herschel. But then we don't, neither of our families took quite enough pictures of us as kids, which is really sad also. So we decided to each, like table number sign is going to have a baby picture of me and a baby picture of him.
Okay.
And so that's what I'm slowly editing right now.
That's a cute way of doing that, I think.
Yeah, especially because our families did not take enough pictures of us.
Do you ever think with stuff like that? Because it's like, mine's a little bit different, but like my sister, when she was a baby, my dad was obsessed with like the camcorder. So there's like
Oh,
tape after
yes.
tape after tape of my sister. I have one tape,
Yep.
one Grego tape, and it spans like 4 years of my life. And I'm like, that's kind of annoying. But like, do you ever think with stuff like that though, with like the evolution of AI, that'd be something that you'd go back one day, like bored on a Saturday night, even like, I want to see baby pictures of me.
Like, even though I don't trust yet AI completely,
Nope.
that would be so cool. It just kind of bums me out. Like, I know there must have, I don't even have any videos. There's like a single picture of me as a newborn, and I'm just like, Mom, what the hell? You didn't take it. Where are all the pictures?
That's it.
Mom was like, damn, Taylor, by the time I got around to you, you were the fourth one. I just didn't care.
Damn it, Amanda.
I'm like, come on.
So going to Italy, went to a writers conference.
Yes.
So you read a piece while you were there too, didn't you?
I did, yeah.
Okay. What was that piece about?
Well, I should first say I didn't know that all the scholarship students, so like some of the more professional, the people who lead the workshops, they get to do readings. And so one of the people we got to hear, her name was Elena Passarello, and she's amazing. So we got to hear some of her work. There were a couple other people's work we got to hear, and they were amazing. And then one of the last few nights, I look on the schedule and it says scholarship student reading. And it's like, I have to read something in front of all these professional, like amazing people who, I was like, are you kidding me? So we all the scholarship students, there was like 4 or 5 of us. We were like, this sucks. We're terrified, but we're going to do this. So I read a piece of mine that was published by the Ohio State. I always say the, because that's how they always say it. Their literary journal is called The Journal. Okay. And so if you type in The Journal on Google, like nothing will really come up about Ohio State. So you have to make sure you put The Journal, like Ohio State. Everyone else read poetry, and I didn't know that. And if I'd known, I think I would have read poetry. But yeah, I was the only person to read like a nonfiction piece. It's just a short essay. But I will say that after we all read, they were all so sweet. They all came up and like they applauded us. They told us how proud they were of us and how we're just amazing writers and stuff. It was really sweet. Like, okay. And also again, practice. They always remind us, if you're going to go into this field, eventually you're going to have to do reading. So you're going to need to practice doing this stuff. And so even if I hate doing readings and being in front of people, got to keep doing it. And
that's fair. I think that's good advice for life. Yes. Though it's always the inner 7th grader in me going, I don't wanna.
Yep. Yes. I hate being in front of people.
When we were in 8th grade, Miss Perrott was our English teacher, and she had open mic Fridays. And she had us like, if we wanted to read something we wrote, we could do that.
Yeah.
And that was always when I read my very cringy emo poetry about like self-harm and stuff like that.
Yes.
And looking back at that, I'm like, I like how I had no problem doing that, but now it's like the idea of doing like stand-up terrifies me, and it's the same damn concept, except one's funny. One doesn't make you think, should we check this kid's bag for weapons?
Middle school is a dark place. But no, I used to do like theater, musical theater, and like I had no problem being on stage and like people staring at me. Yep. And now I'm like, what was I thinking? How did I do that?
I was on TV this year. And I was on I did an interview for a parade, a big old parade, and that was fine. And I did that with like 3 hours notice.
Yep.
But yeah, the idea of like in a room with a group of strangers, it's a lot.
It is. Oh, it's terrifying. People who are comfortable with it, I just want to steal some of that energy. Yeah.
But you powered through it. You got through Italy, your Italy readings. You had some more fun. Any other highlights from the trip?
I got a full body massage, and they do things very differently in Italy.
Okay.
When they say full body, they're touching every part of you.
As I said earlier, this is the Smut episode of the Writers Bleck podcast.
So I didn't think I'd be able to afford a massage. Like they had this whole spa place, and I was like, there's no way I'm going to be able to afford that. Like, because anything extra we paid for ourselves. So I was like, I ignored it, but everyone else kept going and getting massages and whatever else they were doing, going to the steam rooms and stuff. I finally was like, you know what? I'm going to go check it out. The prices were so cheap. They're actually significantly cheaper at their spas than American spas. For like an hour-long body thing that I got, it was like $40. That was like nothing. I was like, are you kidding me? In America, 30 minutes would have been $40. So the massage, I got something called a lymphatic massage, which apparently is supposed to help. I don't know, but I was like, this sounds smart and nice. And it's really soft. Like it's not like digging deep into your bones. And I was like, good.
I hate that. I always hate that.
I was like, I don't want something painful. I'm like, I want you to put me to sleep pretty much. And that's exactly what she did. It felt amazing. But what I wasn't prepared for is like, yes, I knew I'd be fully naked and all. I'd have like a little tiny, like they have like it feels like a paper like underwear that you put on. But it was a thong. It was like a paper thong. I was like, oh, okay. So I put it on. I didn't understand why they want me to wear like a thong. Now I do. They massage your entire butt, like deep within the crack and everything.
Oh,
like,
okay.
I was like, oh, okay. And I didn't know like what to say. I was just like, all right, this is something you were doing. Okay. Okay. Felt good though. I will say that. But
Okay.
I mean, so every part of your body, yeah, definitely got massaged. And so when I left, I was like, that felt amazing. But
And
I
then
wouldn't
Herschel
have
walked out too, and he went, "Oh my God, Taylor, you'll never believe what just happened."
he did not get one, and I bet he regrets it now. When I came back and I told everyone I got a massage, they all looked at me and they go, did they and I was like, they did to you too? Yeah, so apparently it's just a very common thing. Like they're a little more comfortable with bodies in general in Europe. And I'm like, okay, so Americans are prudes. That's great to know.
Do you think that's weird that America, we fetishize violence and we kind of like hide and repress sexuality, and the rest of the world, it's the exact opposite?
I don't get it. When I walked in, because I've had a massage before, so I was like, you can see my body. Listen, I want to be put to sleep. Because massages, the minute someone starts touching me, I usually conk right out.
A lot of drool.
So yeah, I just like was naked and I was ready to go. And she was like, you're the first American who's done that. I'm like, oh, was that bad? I was like, should I put my towel on? She goes, no, here in Italy, they don't do that. She goes, every American I've given a massage immediately climbed underneath the blanket and like hid their entire body.
I would have.
She said, we in Italy don't do that. She's like, people are just kind of more like open with it. And she was like, so surprised. I was like, oh, I said, listen, I paid for this. I was ready to get massaged. So that was my thought process. It was less about, was I still self-conscious about my body? Yes. I was like, oh, she's going to see every single nasty thing on my body. But by the time they start rubbing, I'm like, who cares? All right, it's great.
I'm good.
Oh, Italy. I want to move there.
Yeah. I want to move. I just want to leave. Is that
same?
Yeah.
Same
It's
here.
like I've thought about like even if I like going to Michigan, I feel like we'd be in a better spot than in Indiana.
That's exactly how I feel. I like never really felt like a connection with Indiana. And I don't know if that's Indiana's fault, my fault, or if it's just kind of like this isn't the place where I'm meant to be forever. I've always wanted to go somewhere else and just so I know eventually, hopefully within the next 5 years, peace out, Indiana.
Yeah, like I've been looking at places up in Michigan and other places too, just because for career reasons. You know, it's been a thought more of I could just move. Like we could go to Denver, we could go to San Francisco, we could go to Kansas City was one. I could go to Florida and then just like get my little binoculars out and look at all the crazy Florida people doing all their Florida stuff. I don't know. It's weird to watch the progression of this town and kind of I wonder how it's going to continue to change over time. I thought about this actually it was yesterday. I was took a bike ride last night and I was riding through ND and I forgot the Notre Dame kids were there. Like they came back. So I kind of like pivoted and got out of the campus. Yeah. And I'm just riding through downtown and I'm like, you know, this is almost unrecognizable to what it was 15 years ago.
Everything looks so different. And like part of that is really, really great. I am so glad that there's more jobs, that like some of the areas that were run down now look so much better. But I'm also looking at the homeless community has risen.
Yeah.
Like so many homes have been destroyed. Like there's less neighborhoods for people who don't make billions of dollars like the Notre Dame people do.
Yeah. And anytime the city tries to get involved in that, and be like, we're going to have this program for the homeless. You have all of the uppity Whitey McWhitersons. Oh, well, I don't think that my tax dollars should go to them. It's like, yeah, don't you want to help people? Like, wouldn't you rather them have something, even if it's just like a bed and a roof over their head?
You would think.
I mean, we have enough empty buildings in this town. It is what it is. Hi, Herschel. Sorry,
No, I get it. It just annoys me
I
so
ADHD
much.
so hard. I was like, oh my God, there's Herschel in the background. This is I think my third cup of coffee today. So
Oh my God.
I'm feeling good.
That is a lot of coffee.
It is. I'm not doing well, Taylor. Well, I had a medical scare this week, or it was last week, 2 weeks ago, something like that. I had to have an ultrasound, a bunch of other tests done. It was fun, super comfortable, not uncomfortable at all. They kept asking me like, how much coffee do you have, like, or what caffeine do you intake? And I'm like, well, I don't drink energy drinks anymore, but I have a pot and a half of coffee a day.
Greg, that is so much.
It's okay though. I don't put sugar in it. I put this apple pie spice in it. So it's different.
Yeah,
maybe I'll have a nice little tiny bar of chocolate with it.
That's different.
That's totally different.
Yeah.
It's all for class.
Yeah, your body knows like, oh yeah, so this isn't sugar. This is just a different kind of sugar. Okay.
Yeah. It's weird because like the coffee actually has been helping with other issues I've been having. I have a lot of health issues. I keep making the joke that I'm aging like milk, but the last like month of my life have made that so clear that I am aging like milk. Like I went out to play baseball by myself this week, and the next day I was so sore and in so much pain.
That's literally every second of my life. I'm like, dang, is something else broken? Is something else sprained? Like, what else is gonna fall apart in my body?
Yep. I hurt my leg at some point and didn't realize that I was on my bike last night, and I had the choice to either go home or finish my 17-mile ride last night. And I finished my ride, and I hated myself for it. I think the last mile of it I walked because I was in so much pain limping home. So we'll wrap this episode of Writer's Bleck here. Any closing thoughts, Taylor? Any personal goals you'd like to assign yourself this week? Any homework? Any fun stuff?
My goal is that I am teaching my first class this fall. And it starts next week, Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Okay.
Like, I don't know. What is it? 12:30 to 1:15. I don't remember what the class time is, but
what hall is that in?
So I'm teaching this class, and my goal for this week is 1, to get the first lesson plan done, and 2, just relax and have fun with it. Like, enjoy meeting the students. I'm really nervous. So.
Hell yeah. You got this. I'm proud of you. I just want to keep writing something. Like, the hard part of my job for hopefully the year, knock on some wood here, is done. So I can go back to focusing on writing sketch comedy or even working on my book again if I want to do that. I'm taking a break from the comic because I'm kind of tired of looking at it. Yeah. So nothing big, but big for you. That's great. That's awesome.
So we will see. It's like,
we'll see.
Keep going is what we really need to do. That is our main goal.
Keep whole on podcast. Going. I love that. That's a great way to end the episode. So thank you everyone for watching or listening, tuning into this episode of the Writer's Bleck podcast. You can get it on YouTube and Spotify and podcast services everywhere, I think. Yeah. And I'll leave with this passage that I pulled up on the Google. It's a very in-depth passage called lymphatic massage. Drainage is a type of massage based on hypothesis that will encourage the natural drainage of the lymph, which carries waste products away from the tissue back toward the heart.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Seems poetic.
Yep. And it feels really good.
Hell yeah. We'll see you guys next month for the Halloween episode. We'll talk about some ookie spookies and have a good old time. Until then, I've been Greg Nikes. That's been Taylor. And keep on writing.